NDLA Lagos State Strategic Command, ACGM, Abubakar Wali, my own brother, the Oshodi Isola Local Government Chairman, Otumba Kinde Loebi, represented by Honorable Ajoke Onitolo, the ICAPI President, Ambassador Samuel Eniola Adam, senior officers of the National Drug Enforcement Agency here present, and members of ICAPI. Good morning. I am delighted to be with you this morning, not just as a facilitator, but as an NDLA Elder Forum family. And as someone who is passionate, committed, dedicated to the issue of drug abuse in our communities. And also, as a fellow practitioner of an NGO, I align with ICAPI and all that you represent. So this morning, we're going to be talking about the role of NGOs in the effective implementation of the National Drug Control Master Plan. Aside the NDLA officers, can anybody who has heard of the National Drug Control Master Plan, please, by the raise of hand, let me see. If you have never heard of this plan, or seen the document, or been in the place where it was discussed, by the raise of hand. Okay, I cannot see everyone. So before we start, I want us to set the stage, to tune our mind to the discussion we're going to have. We're going to set the stage with a quotation from Benjamin Franklin, one of the founding fathers of the United States of America, who between 1706 and 1790. He quotes and he says, "By failing to prepare, we are preparing to fail." So this plan is going to show us how Nigeria as a country, including all of us, has planned to prepare to fight the drug problem. So, how did it all start? This plan we want to talk about. The National Drug Control Strategy, NDCS, as it was then called in the 90s, was developed in response to the call by the United States, by the United Nations General Assembly for member states to develop and implement multi-sectoral focus to address the drug problem. So what it meant was that before the 90s, the drug problem was only attacked from a one-line action, unilateral. But the UN General Assembly discovered that the drug problem was caused by different issues: unemployment, family problems, social problems, cultural problems. So it asked its member states to go and fashion a multi-sectoral response to address this problem. So since then, Nigeria started had the first NDCS, the first national plan in 1999, the second one 2008 to 2013, the third one 2015 to 2020, and the current one, the fourth edition, which was due to appear in 2025, and already development of the new phase 2026 to 2030 is ongoing. So we have implemented 4 editions of this master plan. The first plan was the outcome of the 2-year multi-agency effort that had CSOs, NGOs like you also contribute to the development. So what is NDCS? National Drug Control Master Plan for Nigeria. It is a strategic instrument and roadmap developed to address Nigeria's complex drug problem, employing a multi-sectoral, comprehensive and balanced approach. So what it says is that it is strategic, it is futuristic, it is not only looking at the drug problem as of today. When our deputy leader was talking, she said she's a millennial, so she's not a Gen Z. So there are some drugs that they are using and she didn't know about. So that is why this plan is addressing not just the problems of today, but future problems that Nigeria will encounter. It is a roadmap, it is a journey, and it is structured to attain our drug problem goals. And it is multi-sectoral, we talked about, it is comprehensive. This plan attempts to address all the issues surrounding our drug problem, and it is balanced. Balanced in the sense that we are going to address not the supply reduction and the drug demand reduction. To both the trafficking, the manufacture, the production, the distribution, and also address the issue of treatment, prevention, counseling, rehabilitation, and integration back into the society of those who are using drugs. So what is the goal? The goal is to improve health and security of everyone living in Nigeria. That is the goal this plan wants to achieve. And we can all see that this plan looks very simplistic. But when we go deeper, we will see that it is very ambitious. When you say a plan wants to address the health, the WHO defines health as a state of physical, mental, and social well-being, complete state, in the absence, not just the absence of disease and infirmity. So complete health is not just that you're well, you don't have a headache, you don't have diabetes, but your physical, your mental, your social well-being was adequate. And then we go to security. What is security? Security is the absence of threat or danger. Complete state of not having threat or danger. And we know that when we're talking of security, we're talking of physical security, environmental security, social security, food security, which is also very critical. Because when people plant cannabis and produce methamphetamine, they destroy the soil that we are giving them the kind of food we need for nutrition. So there are different areas of security that this plan intends to address. So this plan has 4 pillars. When we talk of pillars, we talk of the structure. Because if you just have a plan and you don't have a pillar, what are the two soldiers that will help you achieve your goals? So the two soldiers for this plan is one, the supply reduction pillar. And for that pillar, NDLEA is the lead agency. There has to be a lead agency for each pillar. Because if there is no leader, there is no accountability. Who would you hold when things are going wrong? So the supply reduction pillar has all the law enforcement, all the paramilitary, all the military, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Justice, they are all members of the supply reduction pillar. All those are partnering agencies with NDLEA. They all drug demand reduction pillar, where we are talking about children, prevention, counseling, and all of that. We have NDLEA, Federal Ministry of Health, we have our agency that addresses the issues of HIV and AIDS, and the Federal Ministry of Education are the lead agencies for the drug demand reduction pillar. Then we have the access to controlled medicines for medical and scientific purposes. Why do we have this pillar? We will see. Federal Ministry of Health and NAFDAC are the lead agencies. Then we have the governance and coordination pillar of the plan. This was infused into the third edition. Every single piece of interior and in the Ministerial Committee of Drug Control, there's an interministerial committee which houses about 36 LGAs and agencies who are responsible for issues of drug control in Nigeria. So we all become members of the IRC. For the supply reduction pillar, it aims at reducing the supply and production of illicit drugs, including illicit narcotics, precursors, psychiatric substances, and other national and internationally controlled drugs. For the drug demand reduction, it's looking at sensitization, prevention, advocacy, treatment, and care programs. For the access to controlled medicines, it seeks to improve access and appropriate use of controlled medicines, addresses lack of availability of controlled medicines for general patients, and its severe impact on health and wellness. So what this pillar is looking at is that yes, these drugs, some of them are controlled because they have psychoactive substances, but originally they are made to address medical issues. And there are people suffering from high level of cancer, people suffering from very, very serious pain, who involved in fatal accidents, they need these psychoactive substances to make well. So this pillar is to ensure that these controlled medicines are available, accessible and available. But because of the black market, because these medicines wanted to be black market. So those who really need to get well don't have access to it, and it now becomes very expensive. So we have the governance and coordination, which unites the efforts of various entities, highlighting the role of focus partnership, leadership and ownership. So this pillar is coordinating. We don't only have too many in the kitchen, and that is too many instructions. We don't really want to follow. So because there are so many agencies, even NGOs involved in this implementation. So this pillar is there to address the issue of coordination, to ensure that everybody knows their limits, they know their roles, know their care, so that we achieve our goal. So, this graphic illustration is showing us where and who now in this plan. You can see it started in 2021, this last edition, the fourth edition. We've done through to 2022, 2023. You can see the cause, the challenges they were dealing with, being supported by NGOs like you, and other stakeholders, and we are finally getting to 2025. So can we beat our chest and look at that boss? That boss is our plan. And that person in red is our own Brigadier General, Wande Bukamawo. He's not driving the NDCM plan, because he's driving the plan for Nigeria, and all of us are seated with him, giving him energy, telling him what we can do, and he also is inspiring us. But he will be food for us, with our chest, and care that we have reached this day of the great health and security for all of you in Nigeria. That is food for us for all the happy members. So, let us demystify this thing. So people will say, it is not our plan, it is a people that are on this plan. It is a UN plan, after all, they were not told us to be United Nations to come and implement this plan. But the truth is that it is not a UN plan, it is a Nigerian plan. We want the job problem, not me. It is our children that are suffering. Communities are suffering. People are dying. Our economy is badly damaged because of the job problem. So we need to own the problem. It is our own. It is our passion. It is not the same. It is not our passion. The job problem is our passion. So the plan to address this job problem is our plan. It is not the United Nations plan. It is not the WHO plan. It belongs to us. We claim that we don't know what the NDCM is all about. That's what some people say. But even in our communities, we are involved in the implementation. As long as you are doing sensitization, you are helping families, you are giving food items to people who are poor, you are helping children who are out of school. All of these things are helping to implement our national plan. And we are part of it. NDCM is not a group like things fall apart. Another exemplary leadership in public servantship I remember we showed is a plan embedded in the government. So what we are telling you now as a cabinet is that you must have to put a plan to what you do. There must be goals you want to achieve. Every year you must have a goal. Every quarter you must have a goal. You must have activities that will help you get to your goal. You must have measures to check whether you are getting it right or not. So that is simply what it is. So for you to impact the NDCM what you do, it's just to have a plan, have a goal, have activities, have measures to check whether what you are doing is right or not, or will help you get to your goal. NDCM is not technical. It is not rocket science. It is simply a plan. If any of us decide to go back to school and read more, it is a long-term plan. It is strategic. That is what the NDCM is. So we think that we need to look at your results. So if you need to go and write literature in GCE, you need to go through the admission, you need to look for funds. So that is simply what the NDCM is all about. So why do we need to pay attention? To ensure that we align with the plan of Nigeria to address Nigeria's complex problem. The number one point is that Nigeria has one of the highest youthful population in the world. 70% of Nigeria's population made up of youth between the ages of about 18 to 25. So what happens to this large chunk of our population will determine what happens to Nigeria. And we know that because of certain reasons, like the human brain development, which science between 21 to 25. We make the youth vulnerable to peer pressure, to curiosity, to adventure, to taking risks. We make them vulnerable to drug abuse and other risky behaviors. Also on the other side, young people have potentials. They have energy. They are enthusiastic. They are optimistic. So it means that how we manage them will determine what Nigeria will be. Lower end brackets of drug users. Studies and living experiences. They are not seeing children because of some socio-economic problems. We are seeing children as young as 7, 8, 9 using drugs now on like in the past. When before they say somebody is using drugs, the person will have made the mistake of 15, 16, 17, 18. And what does drug do to the brain of the young child? You affect the brain, still developing. The organs are still developing, and that young child starts using drugs. It is like when they time they take to the chop, fill the cement, passes through a bridge that is for that construction. That bridge, that chop will damage the bridge. That is what drug does to the body of the young child and the brain. And research is telling us that all over the world, we don't have adequate treatment protocol for children who use drugs. That's right now. The UN National Drug Use Study of 2018 tells us that 1 out of every 4 drug users is a woman. So how women are getting involved in drug abuse, and what does that pretend? When women who are traditionally expected to be caregivers, life holders, and role models in families and communities are getting more involved in drug abuse. The question is, what's wrong with your children with such women? Where is the families to help to develop our communities? And science has told us that because of the kind of work we carry more fatty tissues generally than men. We retain less water than men. Our body is run by hormones. We do menstruation. We reach menopause. We carry pregnancy. We breastfeed. We have less weight than men. Because of this, we don't get easily more addicted to drugs and alcohol than men. That is why when a man takes a woman out, the first thing to say is, I want you to, why don't you take this bottle of stress out? Because you know that the woman will get easily intoxicated. And once she gets that, the man will not really comes through. And when men are in families, when men use drugs, or other family members, women and those who are responsible for taking care of them. And even when their partners and other family members go to jail for drug trafficking offenses, the burden of caring for those families fall on the woman. The 2024 Minister data reports that 18.3 million Nigerian children out of school. It is the highest number all over the world. Nigeria has the highest number of out of school children. And when these children are out of school, where are the likely places they will be? In drug joints, in places where they are introducing them to autism, to round robbery, to yahoo, to prostitution, and these are all the behaviors that these young people need drugs to sustain. Then, over 24 million children are in child labor in Nigeria. And when children are in child labor, they are taking tasks that their body and their brains are not ready for. In the houses where they are working as domestic, on the roads where they are working, in the factories where they are working, and their bodies are not carrying the burden. So what's like they turn to drugs, to pushing the symptoms, to pushing the challenges of their working, doing the kind of work that they are doing in the challenge of new psychoactive substances. They are getting to the stage where our children are using bleach, hypo, like I said, and tonton, fermented urine, even sanitary towel that is fermented, and our children are abusing it. Methylated spirits, nail polish. So that is the point we have reached. So how careful can we be? Globalization and technologies are complicating the different components of drug control. Our children are buying drugs from the internet. They are learning how to produce drugs from the internet because they call themselves science students. Drug trafficking rules, drug money laundering are all being more advanced now by technology and science. We need and we also have to be in front and ensure that we meet them where they are. Drug abuse is exacerbating Nigeria's insecurity challenges. This will know. The implication of daily drug use. In the past, when somebody is using drugs, they might only be using introduce everything to men. Money, tramadol, alcohol, cannabis, those are not proportion. We make treatment very complicated. Injecting drug use, increasing the risk of HIV/AIDS and hepatitis. The 2018 report also tells that 1 out of every child-carrying drug user is injecting drugs with needle and syringes, and this escalates the transmission of blood-borne diseases such as HIV and hepatitis. Drug abuse and co-occurring mental health disorder is already increased. Now we are having people who are suffering from drug abuse and mental disorder at the same time. Because some of the drugs people are using now have psychotic symptoms like comas, loud, when you see somebody with a lot of bread in front of the gutter, giving the bread inside the gutter, thinking that the gutter water is still on. Those are the kind of psychotic symptoms that have been in today's world. So it is increasing mental disorder. And there are some people with mental disorder who are using these substances to cushion the effects, the symptoms of the mental disorder. So these are issues we are dealing with now. Then lastly, there is a new drug lifestyle. The drug culture is becoming cool and more accepted. When we are growing up, people want to use drug. They don't know the push. They don't know computer baby. But these days, people are very confident. They stop on the road. They stop in the bus stops. They stop in the garages. And the community is saving eyes and watching. Those days we used to look at no one benefit. But now nobody cares. The elders in the community have been going up. Now we have their fathers and mothers. They give them money. They keep moving. The community is accepting that drug use is normal. Children are accepting that drug use is normal. Because then, waka smokers. Because they smoke on the road. So, what is the role of NGOs in mental this time? You people are closer to the people at the grassroots level. You are with them. They trust you. You are their friends. So that if they can confide in you, then they will not confide to the police. They will not confide to the revenue officers. So you know their needs. You are not going outside with family and community needs. When the honorable was talking about increasing sensitization, some of these problems actually start from the home where parents are challenged. That they are no longer doing what they want to do. Now we need to also pressurize policy makers and other stakeholders, other government actors to do more. So you NGO members, you are not conversant with family and community needs. You fill essential gaps at the community level. Knowing that no one institution can bring together. That is why we congratulate this partnership. Because NGO, people is coming, we cannot do it alone. It is everybody's business. The drug problem is everybody's business. You provide realistic data to improve drug control outcomes because you are the one that knows what happens in the community. So the data you bring to NGO will be real and will add up to this data of our national drug control. Then we advocate for policy enactments and reforms because you work with community stakeholders. You know the problems there. So you can write your report to the commander and tell him that these are the problems in the community. Commander will pass it to the chairman and it will make up the policy, improve drug policy in Nigeria, coordinate community initiatives and mobilize community resources. There are a lot of resources in the community. NGO is working with them. You are the ones working with them. So you are the one that will mobilize the resources in the community. The schools, the faith-based organization, the traditional institutions, the market men and women, they are all our resources in the communities. And they are the one who is supposed to mobilize and make sure that everybody is on board. You have to strengthen collaboration between government agencies and other stakeholders for effective national drug control efforts. So you are like a little man between the community and government. You tell government what the community is like. You tell community what government wants to do for them. You tell community what government expects from them. You also tell government, if you don't do like this problem will happen. So you are a little man and you are very, very important. So why are communities also important? Is there any community that is strong on you? As I know should be like this, I wish them to tell people on the phone, I'm in Nigeria, local government. No, there is issue. So what it means is that it is what communities give to Nigeria that Nigeria will connect. Because there is no community that is for Nigeria. It is social, Apapa, Rebellion, Owerri, it's Ibadan. So we all have our communities and we have the names of our communities. So it's all these communities now that Nigeria will carry. Nigeria is not a community. We are the ones that are the communities and we are Nigeria. So it is what we give to Nigeria that Nigeria will connect to us. If we give Nigeria drug abuse, Nigeria will connect drug abuse to us. If we give Nigeria positive and healthy children, that is what Nigeria will connect to us. So as our cities out there, we are the ones that will determine what Nigeria is. So let us see how communities are important. Drug supply and demand reduction activities take place in communities. I think this one country that is not one community that is not Nigeria. That is where they are selling drugs. It is in one of our communities. So it is all these communities that know what Nigeria is. National drug statistics are provided from activities in the community. So if they say Nigeria has a high drug problem, the statistics is telling us it is from one of our communities. We are the ones contributing to that high statistics. International airports, seaports, and land borders that serve as point of entries and exits for drug trafficking activities and located in communities, even though they are managed by the federal government. NMIA is it not together? It's together by the community. Apapa a seaport, it's in Apapa, Abi. Timber is in Timber, they are in communities. So what happens in those places, even though they are being managed by the federal government, is the community that will feel the negative impact. If it is positive, it is the community that will enjoy it. There are no communities without drug abuse challenges in Nigeria. True or false? Rural communities are on the track. It is even worse. Because there is heightened socio-economic problems. There are cultural factors, illiteracy, poverty, and some of these institutions, the presence and not spells at the rural areas. A lot are happening in those communities and they are underrepresented. So that is why this partnership with the government will help, because we are going to go into these trenches, into these rural areas and bring down the information, bring it together so that our commander will know what is happening. So you see this pregnant woman, that is the community. You see she's pregnant. So that pregnant woman represents our communities. So it is the child, this pregnant woman, who represents the community, delivers to Nigeria, that Nigeria will collect. You understand now? In our communities, we are all pregnant. What child do we want to deliver for Nigeria? We want to deliver bad news, or we want to deliver good news. So if we decide to deliver bad news, we will deliver poor parenting skills. We will not get our children. We will not give them discipline. We will deliver negative school climate. Schools where drugs are being sold. Teachers who help students to get drugs. Schools where violence, sexual abuse, things that promote drug use are common. We will deliver poor-value systems. Because I tell people say poverty is one of the reasons why young people do as I go through. Our parents were poorer than today's parents, but our parents taught us hard work. They taught us honesty. They taught us integrity. They taught us to have self-confidence in the midst of our hearts. The problem is that values have dropped. Mothers are forming Yahoo Mothers Association. Fathers are helping their adult sons keep guns in their homes. Those are the parents we have today. We call them parents. Everything goes. Any exposure to drugs in our homes, we are exposing our children to drug use. Some of us send our children to that kind of problem, which is not in their presence. Those of us that now have big houses, we have back in the house. Our children will be watching us. We are dealing with our friends. Watching Manchester United and Arsenal. They are watching us and we are excited. Things, as we go, maybe they don't know about themselves. 20 years later, when they are arrested for drug trafficking, we say, well, we don't do that in our family. You started it from your home. You started exposing them from your home. They do random drug tests in the university. They do positive for drug use. You go there, we are taking the class hassle. They don't use drugs in our family. When you were having that bar in your family, 40% alcohol was there, 60% alcohol. Confidence is key. The choice is there. Don't tell anybody. No self-esteem. We are the ones bringing no self-esteem children. We want to do everything for them. We want to protect them. We want to school the time teacher. We want to some people for them. Yet to say we are not confident. How can they be confident? We don't want to bring resilient children. Children who will make mistakes and get up again. We want to do everything for them. We are the superhuman parents. There's nothing like that. They must make mistakes and they must get up and know their business. Communities and sectors of their abuse. So if we decide to deliver positive children for Nigeria, we will deliver positive value systems, discipline, parental supervision, positive school guidance, switch best practices, self-awareness, early goal setting, and character aspects of respect, humility, loyalty, trust, hard work. Because these days we just give our children certificates, no matter. And certificates don't talk. And if the person working the certificate has no matter, that certificate is zero, even if it's a first-time degree from Harvard. We must complement education and character aspects. And that is where we are found lacking in the world of today. So as I end this discussion, I want to leave us with this thought. Alone, we can do so little. Together, we can do so much. A quotation from Helen Keller, who lived in 1880 to 1968. We must believe in the same work. We must collaborate. We must partner. We cannot do it alone.